So I guess I got a lot of explaining to do. As you can tell, over the past month or so, and as I go to check my Twitter feed, or not my Twitter feed, but my video uploading schedule. When was the last time I uploaded? I have to actually physically check the date. Hold on. February 21st. So it's been a full month since I have last uploaded a video. 1 full month as of today's the recording of this video is March 21st. It has now been 1 full month since I have last uploaded a video. And you're probably wondering, Sin, what the hell? You know, I haven't been around since February. Last time you uploaded was the ECU Dynasty, and you just gone off into like nowhere land. And I'll go into that a little bit. Well, actually, it's been February 22nd, so it's been 1 month from today since I've last uploaded a video. So a lot of reasons for it, and I know it sounds like I'm gonna make up a lot of excuses here. And around this channel, that's not what I do. I have a lot going on in my life right now where things aren't there in my head, you know. I just, like, not even like a week after my that last video that I uploaded, my pet died, and that was a little bit heartbreaking, and it sounds really stupid for some people, but I mean, for those who have pets, will know that, you know, if you love your pet, they're almost like family, and that kind of brought me down a little bit. And you know, considering that I hadn't had him for more than 5 years, it was like, wow, he didn't even get to live a full life as, like, you know, a house pet. You know, he was gone. So that sucked. Had a lot of things go on in this house that I'm living in right now. I live on a very busy street, and I'm not going to go into the details of how he died either. It's not my time and place to really talk about it a lot. But I do live on a very busy street in my city. So I'm trying to move to a very quieter neighborhood, very like, I wouldn't say exclusive, but it's a very quiet neighborhood, and it has a better ISP. ISP is, for those who don't know, internet service provider. Right now, my internet service provider is complete garbage. As you guys may know, I may or may not know, I have roommates that also stream. We tried to do a thing with, his name is Jodor. He does PUBG, Pokemon, a few other things as well, but he does a lot of things on Twitch. And we're really good buddies, and we tried to make this house work, but it wasn't necessarily the house itself. There's a couple things wrong with this house. The location, and 2, the internet service provider, the ISP. And if you guys are aware of this at all, my ISP is Mediacom, and I'm more specifically wanting to know what your experiences are with them. If you've ever had an internet service provider like this, where they say it is advertised where they will say, oh, you get a gigabyte down, and you know your upload speed's 50, which isn't terrible. You know, I can upload a video in like 10 to 15 minutes, no problem. But the problem is that a lot of the times when I would stream, whether it was I do stream on Twitch, varies a bunch of different games. I'll play like a Guitar Hero mod, or I'll play a little Pokemon myself. It's weird that I mentioned this on this platform, because this is one more dedicated to sports, and I get that. But I like to, you know, these are the only games the NCAA and Madden aren't the only games I play. granted, I do play the, I've, you know, what is this word I'm trying to look for? I put them on the forefront on this channel, and that's completely, you know, reasonable, because that's what I want this channel to be, is a sports channel. But I do play other games, and it's, when I'm streaming, it's very hard to stay motivated. It's very hard to stay, I guess, hungry for it. When your internet service provider, the one who is supposed to help you stream, is pretty much throttling your internet. And I pay my bills. I work a 9-to-5 job. I make good money. You know, paying bills is not a problem for me. What is a problem for me is that even though I pay the bill, I still experience throttling. And Mediacom may not be the only one that does that. I'm sure there's other service providers that do that. And if you're one of those people, you probably feel my pain. So that's the part of the reason why I also want to get out of this house. If I gave you guys a house tour, you would probably, well, if it was clean, because right now I'm in the process of, I recently just took a house that has fiber internet. For those who don't know what fiber internet means, I'll explain that later in the video. But the house is absolutely nice. I love the landscape of the house. There's a nice sized backyard. There's a little bit of a front yard. More so for just walking areas and stuff like that, just to like get to from the driveway to the door. There's a nice tree and a nice little pond in the backyard. You know, it's nice. And the kitchen is nice and spacious. The bathroom is huge, and I have a nice sleeping space right behind me. I mean, yes, I record from my bedroom, but I really don't care. As you can tell, I don't have my green screen behind me. I decided to throw it out of the camera for this specific reason. You know, the living room has nice space in it too. I mean, we have a nice 55-inch TV and sitting there in the living room, and there's like to watch, like, you know, there's a lot of good things about the house that are just, you know, it's a nice house on the inside. And you know, there's the balcony out there, and to the right of me, if I point this way, if I look out my window, I'm looking out the balcony. So there's that. You know, it's a really good house, and the garage is nice, decently sized as well. You know, but the location of the house being on the busiest street, and one of the busiest streets anyway, and also the ISP, you know, the internet service provider, just throttling my internet and demotivating me from streaming, or even uploading content, because there's sometimes where the internet just goes completely out. And you know, that's why even before, when I was consistently uploading, I'd still miss days because, oh crap, the internet's out, or you know, something like that. You know, it's very frustrating. And there's a reason why I took up the house, like another house. And it seems like I move a lot, and you know, when you're young and, you know, trying to figure stuff out, like I'm 27, and I'm starting to finally get somewhere in my life. I've got like I said, I have a job that pays me well now. I've got a degree, and I feel like I'm actually putting it to use. You know, one day at a time. I'm happy where I'm at. Probably one of the best jobs I've ever had ever. You know, I come home, or I go to work every day at 8 o'clock. Come home at, you know, I hit home at 5 o'clock because, you know, commutes and stuff. Go to the gym, you know, cook dinner, have a nice healthy lifestyle, and, you know, live a nice, you know, I wouldn't say normal, but probably the most normal you're gonna get life. You know, I'm not complaining about my lifestyle at all. So there's that. And so that's the internet side of it, and the lifestyle. I mean, like, the reason the location is so bad, I said the busy street, and it sounds weird that it's like, oh, you know, oh, sin, like it's a busy street, you know, what's so bad about it? You're probably wondering that about that a little bit, but when I mean busy street, I mean it is busy. When I have to back out of my driveway for work, I have to sit there for at least 2 to 3 minutes to completely exit the driveway because there are non-stop cars coming down my driveway. And the only way I can be able to back out is if the stoplight up that way on the street turns red. And that way that side of the road, since that flow of traffic can stop. And then I can back out of the driveway and go. I don't have to worry about that in this new place. It's a quiet neighborhood. I can just back out of the driveway and that'll be that. Another part of this is, and I've noticed this a lot, especially recently, I've been late to work. I've only been late to work once, only because I slept in. But I've been cutting it pretty close because of how many traffic accidents are on my street. That I've had 2 this week, and it's Thursday, and they both happen literally outside my door, and I sit there and I have to drive past it, and I'm sitting here like, again, like, I sit there and don't even ask if they're okay. I'm sitting there like, again, really? I shouldn't be asking that. I shouldn't be asking this question. I should be like, man, I hope they're okay. I'm sitting there asking myself, again? It sounds really cynical of me, but I'm just like, wow. This is just ridiculous. And it happens on my way back home from work, too. Happened to me again today, on my way back home from work. And I'm sitting there like the traffic's backed up all the way back to the railroad tracks. And yes, there's railroad tracks down that way, about a tenth of a mile. So the train is kind of loud whenever it does. And if you can hear that in the background, police zooming down my street. So you could, and no, I'm not in trouble. Point being, very busy street, and it gets to you. It gets me very, very upset, and it drives me insane that I have to deal with that on a regular basis. And I don't even live in I live in Iowa. Like, there's nothing to do. There's nothing you can get in trouble for, except, like, okay, yeah, we're the 7th drunkest state in the country. Whoop-de-doo. But point being is that Iowa's also it's also, according to the U.S. News, the best state to live in. So if you haven't figured it out yet, you should probably, if you're planning on moving, why not move to Iowa? But it's not even like, it's not like there's like crime going on. It's just a lot of, what do I call it? There's like a lot of traffic infractions, or there's a lot of, you know, someone like fell and broke a hip and they need to get to the hospital. Some stupid stuff like that. You know, there's not like anything serious, like you know, not too many gun crimes or anything like that happening. This isn't Chicago. But you get the point, you know. And I'm not saying Chicago's a bad place, but, you know, the big cities have a lot of crime in them. And crime's everywhere, too. So don't get crazy with it. Like, there's crime everywhere. And I'm not saying that there isn't crime here, but there's definitely not a lot of it. Compared to, like, other big cities. So I plan on coming back, but give it time. And I just have a lot going on in my life right now, and I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. A lot of things going on. So anyway, I know this is gonna be a long update. I'm already like 14 and a half minutes in almost, and I want to get to the good news. The good news is that you know, obviously I'm still alive, for one. Whoop-de-doo, party! But the other good news is that none of the series are going away. I'm gonna try and finish out at least 2 seasons of the Bengals franchise. Not the biggest fan of the game this year, for obvious reasons. The game is pretty bad. Not gonna lie. I mean, congratulations to like Swami for getting a job at EA, but I mean, the game needs work, and that I'll discuss in a future video. But I did get a house that is within the same metro area of where I live, in Iowa. So that house has fiber. For guys who don't know what fiber internet means, it is the best internet you could possibly ever have. It has a direct line that can get you a gigabyte of speed, download speed, and 500 megabyte speed upload. You know how fast it would take for me to upload a video? Like that. You know, I could literally upload a video and have it processed within the next 2 to 3 minutes, and it would be nothing. It would be like, oh my god, I didn't have to do that. Was within no time at all, you know. Not editing it obviously would be different. And I also have a few things that I also want to touch on content wise, and if you guys want to timestamp all that stuff, feel free to do so. Be my guest. But I do plan on changing up a few things content creating wise. But I'll get to that later. The house that I'm living in is in a nice quiet neighborhood, and you know, it's just me in my recording room. That's all it is. That's all it is gonna be. You know, I got, you know, a nice size kitchen, nice size bathroom, everything like that. I got all I ever need in a little house, little 3-bedroom house in Iowa. That's all I want. And you know, it sounds weird, but I think I'm gonna like the nice slow pace of living in a nice quiet neighborhood, and you know, being able to have recording sessions that are quiet, and I don't have to hear trains or cop cars or fire trucks or car crashes or anything like that. Obviously, you might see a car crash every now and then, or a police siren go off every now and then, but it'll be less common. And then it might actually come to a surprise to me why there's a cop on my street, or there's a car crash on my street. Instead of saying, ugh, again, I'm like, oh crap, what happened? Are they okay? You know, instead of saying, you know, that part. You know, because it does sound kind of mean and cynical that I say it like that, but we'll see about that. As far as me changing up content creating wise, I've had a lot of ideas in my head lately about what I wanted to do for sports. I know a lot of you come to see me as the guy who does UAB, or the guy who does the Cincinnati Bengals, or ECU, does a lot of dynasties and franchises, and that's cool. You know, I love doing it. You know, I loved how I've taken UAB 9 years into the dynasty, and I'm starting to pull into year 2 of East Carolina, and I'm working on getting through year 2 of Cincinnati Bengals. But I've kind of wanted to do something a little different, something that tackles on the news of the sports world. And I've been, you know, putting ideas in my head, and then seeing, like, not just the news, but I want to analyze like things not in just one particular sport, but in one video I want to tackle all of sports and just kind of dive deep into the topic of things like well, I don't want to spoil too much, but trends and consistencies and inconsistencies and stuff like that. You know, things that I pick up on, and like you know, just a few things that I all noticed in the matter of a few select years or whatever in sports. Not just one particular sport, but all sports, like the 4 major ones, like the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, and the NFL, and even the NCAA as far as basketball and football are concerned, because honestly, nobody really pays attention to college baseball until it's the College World Series, and no one cares about college hockey till the Frozen Four. So that's that. So I want to try and dive deep into some talking points into the sports world, not just be a one-trick pony. So that will be a thing. Also, starting now, or when starting, not now, starting in May, or when I get settled into this new place, and I'm planning on staying there for as long as I can go, as long as I can get there, stay there forever if I have to. I will be live streaming the dynasties, and we can have more interaction, and then you guys wouldn't have to sit there and question me whether I play on Heisman or not, or something like that, you know. Or you'll see my thought processes in the playbook. You know, you won't see me doing the what is it, like the editing and all that stuff. I could edit stuff like you know, the stuff I talked about, like finding consistencies, inconsistencies, trends, you know, that kind of video editing, things like that. You know, I want to try and make this a more interactive channel by live streaming all the things that I do. And it's still gonna be on YouTube. Like, I'm not gonna go over to Twitch. I would like to go over to Twitch. Maybe I can do it over on Twitch. But as of right now, like, and there's a lot of Twitch and YouTube, Twitch versus YouTube drama right now, with Logan Paul being Logan Paul, and Ninja doing what he did with Drake. I thought that was absolutely amazing. And then Juju from the Steelers, that stream made me smile, and I was, you know, I gotta give credit to Ninja. He's a good dude. He is one hell of a dude. You know, he didn't drop out of school, or he said don't give up your dreams just to drop everything for streaming. You know, I certainly haven't done that. I've put my life first before anything else, and you know, you guys make it all worthwhile at the end of the day. You guys have been leaving comments like, hey man, where you been at? You know, I've seen a couple of those comments floating around, and I'm like, you know, people miss me. It kind of feels, I guess, good and bad at the same time. It's good that you guys miss me, but I feel kind of bad at the same time, because I'm just like, man, I'm letting all these people down, and they want to see more from me, and that's what I'm getting to. But I will be back, and I will be in May. I'll finish out whatever I have to edit for the NCAA series, and then come May, or maybe even mid-April, you'll start to see live streams of my dynasties and my franchises. I'll continue to probably try and find ways to upload content. Until then, I will start to throw those ideas out there that I gave to you guys earlier about the topic, the talking points videos, because I like creating talking points, and I've started to notice this when I'm talking with my buddy Joe, and you know, because he likes to follow sports. He's from Seattle. He's a Seahawks fan, and you know, we'll talk sports when we're both at work, and you know, it's like, oh man, did you see the Seahawks let go of Jimmy Graham, or did you see Kirk Cousins go to the Vikings, or did you see Richard Sherman went to the 49ers? You know, stuff like that. It's like, you know, I'm like, oh man, you know, these are great talking points, because you know, I like that kind of stuff. But we'll see how this goes. And I know this was a long update video, and I'm just, you guys have every right to be concerned of where I was at, where I've been. Let me know what you guys think about what I've said about the new ideas of what I've had. If you guys just watched for that part, that's fine. If you guys are, you know, you're like, oh, you know, if you guys watch through the whole thing, like, let me know what you think. I'm always listening. I'm all ears. And if you watch this point of the video, I'll let you know that I picked Virginia to win the championship. So there goes my sports analysis out the window. And I'm sure a lot of you guys were like, oh man, you picked Virginia too? Oh man, that sucks. But hey, that's March Madness for you. Yeah, that was crazy. So I will talk to you guys in the near future, and I hope to see you guys in the comment sections again. I'm sorry for not telling you guys before. I really am. So please accept my apology. I'm really sorry for going ghost for a month. And I know I wanted to make 2018 my year, and so far, me personally, it hasn't been the best year, but I want to turn it around. So, I know I'm still here. I'm still alive. My heart's beating. I got a pulse. I'm talking. I'm not like in a wheelchair or turned into a vegetable. I'm still here, still kicking, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.